There's something many men over 60 quietly go through, but rarely ever talk about. No desire anymore, trouble getting hard, avoiding intimacy, and slowly starting to believe, sex is over for me. But is that really true? Does sex just naturally vanish with age, like gray hair or fading stamina? Or are we giving it up far earlier than we need to? My name is Dr. Nakamura. I'm a sexual health specialist in Japan. For over 20 years, I've worked with more than 4,000 older men, including even legends from the adult film industry. And what impressed me most wasn't just their physical ability. It was their refusal to give up on themselves, even as their bodies slowed down. Because sex after 60 isn't about performance. It's about life. It's about memory, hormones, emotions, heart health. It's about connection. And sometimes it's about hope. Most men don't realize this. When sex is understood properly at older ages, it can protect you from cancer, reduce heart risks, improve sleep, and even extend your life. That's not fantasy. That's science. So if you've ever thought sex doesn't matter anymore, let me walk you through 5 powerful science-backed reasons to think again. And we'll start with something surprising: the link between sex and prostate cancer. Here's something most doctors don't tell you. Regular ejaculation may actually be one of the simplest, most natural ways to protect your prostate. Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in older men. But what most don't realize is, ejaculation isn't just about pleasure. When you release, you flush out stress metabolites and toxins that build up in prostate fluid. If that fluid sits stagnant too long, the prostate cells are constantly exposed to inflammation. That creates the perfect environment for cancer to develop. Think of it like a glass you rinse every week. If you don't wash it, residue builds up, and eventually, it's not just dirty. It becomes dangerous. On top of that, sexual activity regulates hormones like androgens, prostaglandins, and cytokines. These are key players in abnormal prostate cell growth. One famous long-term study, published in JAMA and European Urology, followed over 31,000 men for decades. It found men with higher ejaculation frequency in their 20s to 40s had a significantly lower risk of prostate cancer later, especially the less aggressive forms. Of course, sex can't replace screenings or PSA tests, but it is part of the picture. A natural, proactive step you can take yourself. I once worked with a 66-year-old man from Texas. After his divorce, he went 7 years without intimacy. He felt fine, until a routine checkup revealed early-stage prostate cancer. The first thing he asked me was, what should I have done differently? In Japan, a 71-year-old no-theater master told me, every week I still take care of myself, not for lust, but because it reminds me I'm alive. Sex is not just fleeting pleasure. It's how you keep your body running, flushing, regulating, like changing the oil in an old but beloved car. And that's just the beginning. Because if you think only your prostate benefits, you'll be surprised how deeply sex affects your heart. Here's something most people overlook. Sex is actually a form of physical exercise. For older men, one session burns 85 to 100 calories. That's similar to 15 to 20 minutes of brisk walking. Medically, that counts as moderate exercise, the exact type recommended to maintain blood pressure, heart rate, and cardiovascular health. Now imagine this. If you're not walking much, not climbing stairs, and not being intimate, you're cutting out one of the most natural forms of exercise your body had. But it's not just movement. Sex is also a workout for your blood vessels. During arousal and orgasm, your body releases nitric oxide. This molecule relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and prevents artery hardening. When sex disappears, the endothelium, the lining of your blood vessels, stops being activated. Over time, it weakens. Arteries stiffen. Blood pressure rises. Blood supply to the heart decreases quietly. And it's not just physical. No sex also means less oxytocin and endorphins, two natural chemicals that balance stress and calm the nervous system. Without them, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises silently. Chronic stress inflames the cardiovascular system, and the heart weakens, one day at a time. This isn't theory. A long-term study found older men with low sexual activity had much higher risks of heart problems, even if they didn't have erectile dysfunction. In other words, intimacy frequency can be an early warning sign of heart health, often before doctors detect anything. I remember Luis, 68, from California. After a mild stroke, he avoided intimacy, fearing it would stress his heart. But during rehab, his doctor encouraged him to start again, first with hugs, then gentle touch. Luis told me, "The first time I hugged my wife again, I didn't just feel love return. I felt my heart beat stronger." In Japan, I know a couple in their 70s. They don't make love like before, but every morning they hold hands. Every night they hug. And neither of them ever needed heart medicine. Sex, at this stage, isn't about performance. It's about rhythm, literally and emotionally. A hug can slow your heartbeat. A touch can lower blood pressure. And gentle intimacy may protect you in ways no pill ever could. But maybe you're thinking, I can't be intimate anymore because I can't get hard. That's exactly what we need to talk about next. Because when erections disappear, it's not just sex that suffers. Your tissues, hormones, and even longevity quietly decline. There's a simple rule in physiology. Use it or lose it. This is especially true for the penis. When you're young, you get 3 to 5 spontaneous erections every night during sleep. They're called nocturnal penile tumescence. These erections aren't just practice. They bring oxygen into penile tissue, keeping it healthy. Without regular erections, oxygen levels in the penis drop too low. When flaccid, oxygen pressure is 25 to 40 millimeters of mercury. During erection, it rises to 90 to 100 millimeters of mercury, enough to nourish smooth muscle cells, prevent fibrosis, and maintain elasticity. No erections means no oxygen. No oxygen means scar tissue replaces smooth muscle. Scar tissue causes venous leaks, and erections become harder and harder to achieve. It's a vicious cycle. Diabetes, hypertension, heart disease reduce blood flow. Erections weaken. Fewer nocturnal erections happen. More fibrosis develops, and erections weaken further. It's silent, gradual. You don't notice until one day your body no longer responds, even if your mind still wants it. I spoke with Saito, a 72-year-old sushi chef in Osaka. He said, "I haven't had sex in 5 years, not because I don't want to, but because I fear disappointment." When we checked, he had severe fibrosis, very hard to reverse. Another patient, Bill, a 63-year-old U.S. veteran, felt he wasn't a man anymore after losing erections. But with vacuum therapy and PDE5I medication, he slowly regained partial function. More importantly, he regained control over his body. You don't need to perform like you did at 30, but you do need to keep penile tissue active through gentle stimulation or even healthy masturbation. It's not just self-pleasure, it's biological care. Because sex doesn't start in the penis. It starts in the nervous system, the blood vessels, the hormones, and the messages you send your body every day. But if you've ever felt lonely, empty, or disconnected, you need to hear one last, deeper truth. Because sex doesn't just keep you healthy, it can make you feel alive again. There are sorrows men rarely voice. Silent when erections fail. Silent when their partner turns away. Silent when they look in the mirror and think, "My time is over." But the truth is, you haven't lost yourself. You've just stopped connecting with the energy still inside you. Sex isn't just physical. It's a mirror of overall health. It reflects that you still have energy, hormones, desire, and the will to connect with someone or even with yourself. Science is clear. Maintaining intimacy after 60 doesn't just lower prostate cancer risk, protect your heart, and prevent fibrosis. It also soothes the mind, reduces depression, improves sleep, and lengthens life. I've seen this from Tokyo to Texas to Toronto. Those who maintain even a little intimacy each week, a hug, healthy self-pleasure, or gentle lovemaking, always have brighter eyes, steadier steps, and softer smiles. No one grows old because of age. We grow old because we stop connecting. And sex, when understood properly, is the bridge that reconnects your energy, your emotions, and your masculinity you thought was gone. If what I've said resonates with you, know this: you are not alone, and you can start again. Whether you're 60, 70, or 80, your body will listen if you speak to it, with gentleness, consistency, and care. If this message touched you, subscribe to this channel. Share your story or your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. And stay with us for the next videos, where we'll explore more natural, science-based ways to restore energy, memory, and emotions at any age. Because life isn't over. Sometimes it's just waiting for you to begin again.